Greetings, fellow human. Are you sometimes left scratching your head, wondering if the youth of today are speaking a different language entirely due terms like slay, no cap, and vibe check leave you feeling, well, ancient? Fear not. This comprehensive and dare I say witty guide will equip you with the knowledge and confidence to navigate conversations with Gen Z individuals. Consider me your friendly AI companion, here to bridge the generational gap, one TikTok trend at a time. First things first, understand their habitat, the internet. Gen Z are digital natives. They've never known a world without smartphones, social media, and instant access to pretty much any information imaginable. This constant connectivity has profoundly shaped their communication style. Forget lengthy emails or drawn-out explanations. Gen Z communication often favors brevity. Think tweets, text messages, and TikTok captions. They're masters of concise expression, often using abbreviations and acronyms that might leave older generations bewildered. Instead of saying, "I'm very excited about this opportunity," a Gen Z might text, "OMG, so hyped." Learn to appreciate the efficiency. It's not laziness. It's optimized communication for a fast-paced digital world. Emojis are not just cute little pictures. They're an integral part of Gen Z's linguistic toolkit. They convey tone, emotion, and even entire sentences. Similarly, memes and GIFs are a shared language, instantly recognizable and often carrying layers of cultural context. Pro tip: familiarize yourself with common emojis and their connotations. A simple thumbs up might seem innocuous, but depending on the context, it could be perceived as passive-aggressive. Tread carefully. And don't even think about using the Minions meme unironically. Trust me on this one. Gen Z has a finely tuned BS detector. They value authenticity and can spot inauthenticity a mile away. Corporate jargon, overly polished presentations, and anything that smacks of being fake will likely be met with skepticism or even outright dismissal. How to apply: be genuine in your interactions. Speak plainly, be honest, and don't try to be someone you're not. They appreciate transparency and realness, even if it means admitting you don't know something. The vocabulary. This is where many stumble. Gen Z slang evolves at the speed of light, often originating from internet culture, social media trends, and gaming communities. Trying to keep up can feel like chasing a greased piglet, but understanding some key terms can significantly improve your communication. Common terms and their relatively stable meanings. Slay: to do something exceptionally well or impressively. Example: you absolutely slayed that presentation. No cap literally means no lie or for real. Used to emphasize the truthfulness of a statement. Example: that concert was amazing, no cap. Vibe check: an assessment of the general feeling or atmosphere of a situation or person. Example: hold on, let me do a quick vibe check before we go in. Sus: short for suspicious. Often used in the context of the game Among Us but has broader application. Example: that explanation sounds a little sus. Bet: a versatile affirmative response, similar to okay, yes, or deal. Example: wanna grab pizza later, bet. Low-key: high-key, used to describe the intensity of a feeling or desire. Low-key: want pizza means you'd like it but aren't desperate. High-key: need a nap means it's a pressing necessity. Drip: stylish or cool clothing and accessories. Example: nice outfit, you got some serious drip. Simp: someone who does way too much for someone they like romantically, often to their own detriment. Use with caution, it can be derogatory. Yeet. An exclamation of excitement, surprise, or force, often accompanied by throwing something. Example: throws keys, yeet, bussa. Delicious or really good, often used in the context of food. Example: this burger is bussin'. Important caveat. Slang is fluid. What's cool today might be cringe tomorrow. Pay attention to context and don't force it. Trying too hard to use slang can backfire spectacularly. Communication isn't just about words. It's about understanding the underlying values and perspectives of the person you're talking to. Gen Z has come of age in a unique historical and social context, which has shaped their worldview. Gen Z is generally more aware of and vocal about social justice issues than previous generations. They care deeply about inclusivity, diversity, and equality. Casual prejudice, insensitive jokes, or outdated stereotypes are likely to be met with disapproval. How to apply: be mindful of your language and avoid making assumptions based on someone's background or identity. Be open to learning about different perspectives and be respectful of their values. Having grown up with the stark realities of climate change, many Gen Z individuals are deeply concerned about the environment and sustainability. They often prioritize eco-friendly practices and support brands that align with their values. How to apply: When relevant, show an awareness of environmental issues. Small gestures like recycling or mentioning sustainable practices can resonate positively. Gen Z is more open about mental health struggles and actively seeks to destigmatize them. They value vulnerability and are often supportive of those who speak openly about their experiences. How to apply: create a safe and supportive space for conversation. Be willing to listen without judgment and avoid dismissing their feelings or experiences. Gen Z embraces fluidity and rejects rigid categories, particularly when it comes to gender and sexuality. They are more likely to identify outside traditional norms and expect respect for their self-defined identities. How to apply: use inclusive language and respect individuals' preferred pronouns and identities. Avoid making assumptions about someone's gender or sexual orientation. Gen Z utilizes a wide array of communication channels, each with its own nuances and expectations. Understanding these can help you connect more effectively. Texting and direct messaging. DMs. This is often the primary mode of communication for quick updates and casual conversations. Expect abbreviations, emojis, and relatively short messages. Responsiveness is generally expected, but don't panic if there's a slight delay. Social media. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, etc. Social media is not just for sharing selfies. It's a key platform for news, trends, and community building. Understanding the specific culture of each platform is crucial. TikTok favors short-form video and trends, Instagram focuses on visuals, and Twitter is often used for quick updates and discussions. Lurking or observing without actively participating can be a good way to get a feel for the online environment. Voice calls and video calls. While texting dominates, voice and video calls are still used, especially for more in-depth conversations or when efficiency is key. Always ask if it's a good time to call before dialing. Email. Email is generally reserved for more formal communication, like school or work-related matters. Keep emails concise and to the point. In-person communication. Despite their digital fluency, Gen Z still values genuine in-person interactions. The same principles of respect, active listening, and authenticity apply. Put away your phone and be present in the conversation. Be sure to make eye contact too. It shows engagement in the conversation. Now that we've covered the basics, let's talk about some common mistakes to avoid when communicating with Gen Z. Being condescending or patronizing. Nothing will shut down a conversation faster than being talked down to. Avoid phrases like "when I was your age," or dismissing their opinions as naive. Chances are you're going to be called a boomer if you do this. Trying too hard to be cool. Forced attempts to use slang you don't understand or mimicking trends awkwardly will likely be met with amusement or secondhand embarrassment. Authenticity is key. Remember, using outdated references. Pop culture references from the 80s or 90s might fly over their heads. If you're unsure, provide context or stick to more timeless topics. Even though we all know the 80s rule, ignoring their digital world. Dismissing social media or online culture as frivolous can make you seem out of touch. Boomer. Show an interest in their online lives, even if you don't fully understand it. Being inflexible or unwilling to learn. The world is constantly evolving and so is communication. Be open to learning new things and adapting your communication style. Regardless of the generation you're communicating with, active listening is paramount. This means paying attention not just to the words being spoken, but also to the tone, body language, and underlying emotions. Tips for active listening. Maintain eye contact when appropriate. This shows you're engaged in the conversation. Nod and use verbal affirmations. Simple cues like "aha" or "I see" indicate you're following along. Ask clarifying questions. If you're unsure about something, don't be afraid to ask for clarification. This shows you're genuinely interested. Summarize and paraphrase. Restating what you've heard in your own words ensures understanding and shows you're listening attentively. Be present and minimize distractions. Put away your phone and focus on the conversation. Boomer. Ultimately, effective communication with Gen Z is about building bridges, not walls. It's about finding common ground, respecting differences, and being willing to learn from one another. They have unique perspectives, valuable insights, and a fresh approach to the world. By understanding their communication style and values, you can foster meaningful connections and enrich your own understanding of the modern world. Final thoughts. So, the next time you find yourself in a conversation with a Gen Z individual, remember these tips. Be authentic, be respectful, embrace brevity sometimes, and don't be afraid to ask questions. And who knows, you might even learn a new slang term or two. Just try not to say "on fleek" or "fetch," unless you're prepared for some good-natured ribbing. Now go forth and communicate. You've got this. You old crotchety boomer.